Imagine being given 5 grand just to eat chips for science. Well, that is the basis of a new study on the effects of an ultra-processed diet. A diet that more and more of us are consuming every single day, and the effects of it are frightening. Hey there, I'm Matthew. I'm a qualified biochemist with an interest in all things health and science. And today we're taking a deep dive into the world of ultra-processed foods. We're going to explore what exactly these foods are, why they have become so dominant in our food supply of late, accounting for up to 70% of what we eat today, and what a recent American government study led by the National Institutes of Health reveals about their impact on our health. In our conversation today, we'll unpack the details of this study where participants were given 5 grand to purchase 28 days worth of ultra-processed foods and discuss the startling implications of these findings for our daily diets. Well, first of all, let's define what ultra-processed foods are. Well, they are not your typical processed items. They are industrial formulations, which is scary to think of in itself. They're made mostly from refined ingredients, often containing additives, preservatives, and artificial flavors, all designed to maximize taste, texture, and shelf life. These products, ranging from packaged snacks and sugary drinks to ready-to-eat meals, are engineered to be hyper-palatable, meaning they are designed to trigger our reward centers and encourage us to keep eating them. In other words, they're designed to be addictive. In today's fast-paced society, these foods are ubiquitous. With convenience and affordability on their side, ultra-processed foods have gradually edged out whole and minimally processed foods in the average Western diet. In fact, studies now estimate that these products make up more than 70% of the Western food supply, a staggering statistic that underscores the extent of their reach in our daily lives. Now, this study has captured public attention for its rather unconventional design and methods. So essentially, these participants were given $5,000 to spend on 28 days worth of ultra-processed foods. The purpose, well, to examine the impact of an ultra-processed diet on calorie consumption and metabolic health under controlled conditions. It was led by NIH researcher Kevin Hall. The study was meticulously designed to compare the effects of ultra-processed diets with those of minimally processed whole food diets. Despite matching the diets for calories and macronutrients, the study found that when participants were fed an ultra-processed diet, they ended up consuming significantly more calories than they did on a whole food diet. In many cases, participants unwittingly ingested an extra 500 calories or more per day simply because the ultra-processed food was less satiating. The concept is both simple and alarming. Even if you think you're consuming the same number of calories, the quality and processing of those calories can dramatically influence how much food you eat. The engineered properties of ultra-processed foods, the low fiber, high sugar, and refined textures, seem to interfere with the natural signals that tell our bodies when to stop eating. This can create a cycle of overeating that leads to weight gain and metabolic disturbances over time. Now, this study is not without its detractors. Dr. David Ludwig, an endocrinologist who has been on this podcast, suggests 28 days is far too short a time to run this study and that it needs to be longer in order to see the real health implications of this diet. As far as the definitive results of this study are concerned, we probably won't see them until the end of the year, but I'd hazard a guess that one whole month of eating nothing but chips, nuggets, fizzy drinks and pizzas won't leave the volunteers feeling or looking their best. So why do ultra-processed foods lead to overeating? Well, there are several key reasons why ultra-processed foods can derail our natural appetite regulation. Low fiber content. Whole foods are naturally high in fiber, which slows digestion and helps us feel full for longer periods. Ultra-processed foods, however, have most of their fiber stripped away during manufacturing, leading to rapid digestion and quicker return of hunger. Hyperpalatability. These foods are engineered to hit the perfect balance of sugar, fat, and salt, ingredients that our brains are hardwired to enjoy. This hyperpalatability can override natural satiety signals, prompting us to eat even when we're not truly hungry. Alter food structure. The processing of these foods changes their physical structure. This alteration can affect the way our digestive system perceives and absorbs nutrients, potentially interfering with hormonal signals such as those from ghrelin and leptin that regulate hunger and fullness. So by essentially tricking our bodies, ultra-processed foods create an environment where it's all too easy to overconsume calories, even if we're not aware of it. So when we step back and look at the broader food landscape, the implications are truly alarming. With ultra-processed foods making up over 70% of the food supply, the potential for widespread overeating and related health issues is enormous. It's not just about individual weight gain, it's about how our entire food system is structured in a way that promotes metabolic dysfunction. Research has repeatedly shown that diets that are high in ultra-processed foods are associated with increased risks of obesity, type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and even cancer. This recent study, led by Kevin Hall, reinforces these concerns by demonstrating that it's not merely the calorie content that matters, but the quality of those calories. Even with calorie-matched diets, those consuming ultra-processed foods tend to eat more, thereby creating a state of positive energy balance that can lead to weight gain and metabolic disturbances. This study's design, a $5,000 alliance for 28 days' worth of ultra-processed food, was not just a scientific experiment, it was a stark illustration of our current food environment. It compels us to ask the question, how many of us are unwillingly consuming an excess of ultra-processed foods every single day? And what are the long-term consequences of this dietary pattern? Well, for many, the answer is going to be sobering. With ultra-processed foods so prevalent and so convenient today, our food choices are often dictated by what's available on the supermarket shelves, rather than what is nutritionally optimal. This reality has significant public health implications. If our food environment is saturated with products that encourage overeating, then the risk for obesity and metabolic diseases will only continue to rise. Okay, so what can you do if you're concerned about the impact of ultra-processed foods on your health? Well, here are some actionable strategies based on the insights from this research. First of all, read labels carefully. Look for the products with minimal ingredients. When you see a long list of additives, preservatives, and artificial ingredients, it is a red flag that you're dealing with an ultra-processed product. Secondly, prioritize whole foods. Make conscious efforts to incorporate more whole, minimally processed foods into your diet. Fresh fruit, vegetables, whole grains, lean proteins, and healthy fats. They all provide the necessary nutrients and fiber that help regulate appetite. Number 3, cook at home. Preparing meals at home allows you to control the ingredients and avoid the hidden additives found in many of these pre-packaged ultra-processed foods. Even simple cooking methods can go a long way towards reducing your intake of ultra-processed foods. Number 4, plan your meals. Planning ahead can help you avoid the lure of convenience foods. Consider meal prepping or setting aside time each week to shop for and prepare fresh ingredients. Number 5, educate yourself. Understanding the science behind ultra-processed foods can help empower you to make better dietary choices. The more you know about how these foods are affecting your body, the more motivated you will be to seek healthier alternatives. So while the individual choices are crucial here, the problem of ultra-processed foods is systemic. The fact that these foods constitute over 70% of the Western food supply isn't an accident. It's the result of decades of food industry practices and policy decisions that prioritize convenience and profit over health. There is now a growing call for policymakers to take action. This could include improved food labeling, public health campaigns to educate consumers, and even fiscal measures like taxes on products high in added sugars and unhealthy fats. Such policy initiatives could help shift the market towards healthier options and create an environment where it's easier for consumers to make nutritious choices. Food companies are also beginning to take notice. Some are reformulating products to reduce the use of artificial additives and increase nutritional value. However, meaningful change will require both industry innovation and a concerted effort from public health advocates to push for systemic reform. So the research is clear. Ultra-processed foods have a profound impact on our eating behavior and our overall health. This study that provided participants with $5,000 worth of ultra-processed foods to purchase in 28 days powerfully illustrates how these products can lead to uncontrolled calorie consumption, even when the diet is matched for calories. Combined with the fact that ultra-processed foods make up so much of the Western diet, these findings highlight a critical public health issue. For those of you concerned about your health, the message is straightforward. It's time to re-examine our relationship with food. By reducing our reliance on ultra-processed products and embracing whole, nutrient-dense foods, we can better regulate our appetite, we can support our metabolism, and we can reduce our risk of acquiring chronic diseases. In a food environment dominated by convenience and engineered flavors, taking back control of our diet is both personal and a collective challenge. Well, thank you for tuning into this episode. Hopefully you enjoyed the content. If you did, please show your support by liking, subscribing, and sharing with other like-minded people. And while you're there, check out this other video right here.